All right, we are live. What is going on? It's time for an all new the RCWR show coming at you this Monday night of April 20th, 2015, as we are covering WWE Raw Fallout. It's the final Raw as the company makes its way to Extreme Rules this Sunday. Hey, for those of you that might have missed Raw, definitely stick around. We're going to get you guys caught up on what all you might have missed as we do our best to keep it fun, insightful, and most importantly, interactive every single Monday night as soon as Raw goes off the air. So for your long-time subscribers, followers, interact with us as always a number of ways. Post those comments down below. You can also hit me up for the next little bit on Twitter at the RCWR show. While you're at it, take the time out, give our Facebook page a like. Infinity One Productions, that's with an E, spell out one, Infinity One Productions. Those of you that might be new to our channel and you might be looking for actual WWE Raw footage, can't stress it enough. You might be able to find video highlights, the works on WWE Fan Nation. That's also here on YouTube. Still can't find what you're looking for, definitely hit us, hit up WWE on their website at WWE.com. You might be able to find photos, videos, the works that way. All right. So let's go ahead without any further ado. Let's jump right into it, my pretty babies. I gotta say, this Raw, because last week we had got the Raw from London, England, and that Raw, it was a little bit more heavy on the wrestling, but it just seems like whenever WWE goes overseas, I don't know, for me it just kind of seems like you don't really have to watch that episode that's coming to you from overseas, because it's like nothing major happens. There's no major storyline that gets pushed, no major angle. So you really don't have to watch it. This episode, definitely a lot to look forward to, as we kept hearing about the return of Triple H. And plus, this was the final Raw in setting up the Extreme Rules pay-per-view coming up Sunday. And as far as Triple H goes, I don't know how many of you watch Raw tonight. For those of you that maybe didn't, Triple H, he made a big spectacle out of some news that he had concerning the future of Tough Enough, in case you might have missed it, as the news was circulated all throughout social media. I know WWE, they put the alerts out there, so if you are subscribed to the WWE network or their respected newsletter, you got the notification for all your respected devices. But Tough Enough is going to be coming back, as Triple H revealed really in a press release earlier throughout the day, but he sealed the deal tonight on Raw with his return, as he said that it's underway. Basically, if you have what it takes, yes, if you out there have what it takes to be tough enough, you think you have what it takes to be a potential WWE superstar or a WWE diva, well, WWE wants to hear from you. Head on over to their website. I think it's WWE.com/tough enough. Don't quote me on that. Somebody will probably post the correct link if I did mess that up, but I know you can find it directly by going to WWE's website and basically send them a video package, all that good stuff. And what they're going to end up doing is they're going to select 10 guys, 5 females. There's going to be a contest that's going to be going down throughout the series of weeks until finally it's going to be up to WWE executives and the WWE fans. It's going to be a combined effort to figure out who's going to be awarded a WWE contract. So you'll be able to pick 2 winners. So I'm ecstatic. I can't wait to see how this goes down. I have a lot of fond memories as far as Tough Enough goes. I remember my best friend Ebony. Love that sister to death. I remember how hard she was trying to get into the WWE. And I mean, back in the day, I mean, me and her, we were working out religiously. I mean, the two of us must have been working out probably about 4 to 5 days a week. I mean, we both were really jacked up. we were really heavy into the weightlifting and all that. And I remember she heard about Tough Enough the first go around, the very first Tough Enough. And oh my God, we must have stayed up until about 6, 7 in the morning working on her video package as she was doing all types of crazy stuff. She was lifting weights, mad weights at that. She was showing her cardio work. She was even going so far as to show her entrance from the video games. I mean, she was doing all types of crazy stuff. She did hear back from them. She went out. I think it was New York. I can't really remember. It's so long ago. But I remember they told her the first go round she was too bulky. They wanted her to, really trim back on the muscle mass. So she tried to do it again. She went to them a second go round. They were like, now this go round, she got a little bit farther. I remember this time around, she had a hard time speaking. Like she just would not channel out her persona. I don't know what it was. I guess she was a frightened little deer or whatever. But she didn't get that far the second go round. And then the third time, what actually ended up happening, they reached out to her because they still had her portfolio and all that stuff. And they were like, hey, we'd love it if, you could come, get some training under us. We can hook you up down at our developmental plant. I think back then it was OVW that was still handling it. And she wasn't interested in relocating and all that other stuff. She just said, I know some of you that's hearing that, you're like, man, I would have jumped on that. Well, if you still have aspirations of making it possibly big into the wrestling business, here is another opportunity for you to do it. I wish that social media was as active as it was back when we first tried to go about doing Tough Enough, because back when we tried to go for it the first couple of times, for our case, it was like literally about who we knew, who we could get our like VHS tape to or whatever, or DVD. It was all about who we knew that could get it through the right people to look at it and possibly give that phone call back and say, yeah, come on down here. Let us get a better look at you and everything like that. I would only imagine how it would be with today's technology and social media. I can only imagine how it would be back then with everything that we're seeing now. But best of luck to you. If you're going to enter it, I definitely would love to hear from you. I don't know, maybe we can have you be on the show and, you could tell me and the rest of the RCWR show fans why you think you have what it takes and why we need to keep our eyes peeled on you, all that good stuff. But good announcement right there. Looks like there's no ETA right now when the series will be making a premiere. I think this was nothing more than really a good publicity stunt because a lot of people were talking about Tough Enough. They're wondering what was going on, who all is going to be involved. Now, I mean, now that we know it's underway, the next thing, who's going to be the judges? That much was not revealed. I'm sure we will know in due time. But like Triple H breaking out that piece of news, he would get interrupted by the big red monster, Kane. As apparently Kane said he had been trying to contact Triple H all throughout the week, and Triple H wasn't responding. And Triple H told him, look, just calm down. And I did get all your messages and everything, but, I think you just needed time to cool down. I didn't really want to talk to you while you were in the wrong state of mind, as Kane pretty much was trying to step down as director of operations, as he feels that Seth Rollins is a poor choice as far as being the face of the WWE. This did prompt Seth Rollins to come out, and Kane and Seth Rollins, they were just going at it back and forth pretty much all night, and it culminated in these two guys just getting ready to throw it down. Kane was getting ready to just wring the neck out of Seth Rollins big time. But we saw Triple H make this interesting proclamation, if you will, as he has appointed Kane to be the gatekeeper, if you will, for the match between Seth Rollins and Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight title. So you guys are hearing gatekeeper and you're kind of like, what the hell is a gatekeeper, Lee? I don't really understand these terminologies. Well, what's the 411, Lee? Well, when I first heard that, my first reaction was, what the hell are we doing? Is this like Ghostbuster 2, 1989? Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver, they're talking about gatekeepers and all that. I'm thinking that. And then I had to like really watch this segment to understand what the hell was the point of the gatekeeper. No, I knew what the point of the gatekeeper was initially, but I just couldn't help but think Ghostbusters 1989 and all those weird characters and everything. And Triple H apparently is making sure that as far as people trying to get inside of the steel cage between Seth Rollins, Randy Orton's match, it's not going to happen because they're going to have to go through Kane. And we see Kane say to Triple H, hey, thanks, boss. I won't let you down. And it's like, well, wow, you just changed your mind that freaking quick. Seth Rollins, in the meantime, of course, he's going to cry foul because he doesn't like what he's hearing and seeing go down. He's wondering what the hell is going on with Triple H. Why would Triple H give Kane that much power? As far as Triple H is concerned, hey, even more the reason why going into Sunday's pay-per-view, you need to squash whatever beef you got going on, because pretty much Kane could have your future as champion in the palm of his hands. And unfortunately, we just continue to see Seth Rollins and Kane just not get along. It was ridiculous. It was almost like watching Father Knows Best, because Triple H just had to keep acting like the father, just stepping in between the two. It just kind of reminded me of like Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, how they were fighting for Vince McMahon's approval and affection and all of that, and Vince was just losing his freaking marbles over the crap. I just kind of felt that's what we were watching tonight, in 2015. Only this time it's Kane, Rollins, Triple H. Triple H, at one point, because as you all know that watch Raw last week, the RKO will be banned at ringside come this pay-per-view. And you would think that Seth Rollins has Randy Orton right where he wants him as a result, but let's back up. Let's talk about how Raw had kicked off. It was a nice, good, refreshing change of pace, and I like it when we don't get those 25-minute promos and then a commercial break, and then you get a 5-minute match, and then the match gets interrupted so that we can see 5 more minutes worth of commercials, and then we come back, and apparently the match ended during the WWE app, which you needed to download. And then if you don't have the WWE app, that means you probably don't have the WWE network, and you can get all that for an undisclosed amount. Are you with me so far, folks? It's a big old domino effect. Keep up with me now. But I like how Raw opened up. It was very refreshing tonight because Orton came out and he basically was like, look, Sunday is Sunday between me, Seth Rollins, for the title. But we're talking about tonight. All I know is if my RKO is going to be banned Sunday, I'm gonna RKO every single son of a bitch that I see. So he basically put out a all points bulletin on that note. And sure enough, he kept his word. And honestly, I love that. I thought that was a great touch. I also loved how Seth Rollins came out to talk with Randy. And actually, Randy Orton seemed like for a moment there, he kind of had the curse of Sanders going on. Definitely Seth Rollins had the curse of Sanders going on as well. But I tell you what, I really did not think, and I gotta apologize, because I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, my God, what's going on between Seth, Randy Orton? Yeah, it could probably go maybe 2 pay-per-views, possibly 3, but my whole argument was I'm not really picking up the chemistry between these two guys. Something's got to really step up in order for me to really feel invested and want to see these two guys get it on in the ring. And I was struggling with that. And I think you guys can be in agreement. Everything that was happening leading up to their WrestleMania match, it was kind of like, uh, eh, uh, but what these guys have been doing the past couple of weeks on main WWE programming, including with what they did tonight, I think tonight was the strongest segment that these two men have had together since they began feuding with one another. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, let's be for real. This all kind of goes back to when Seth Rollins did the curb stomp to Randy Orton's grill through the cinder blocks, and that storyline wise sent him out for a series of months. All of us were kind of under the impression that literally it was going to pick right back up from that level of intensity there was when we saw that go down. But it seemed like something was missing once Orton came back. But I tell you, these past couple of weeks, man, those of you that did not watch Raw tonight, I'm telling you, the opening segment tonight, just between Rollins and Orton, I mean, that for me really sold me. It sold me into seeing them in this steel cage match coming up. And it also sold me on, okay, let's kick on back. Let's watch Raw. Because my mind sure as heck was elsewhere. I sure as heck was thinking about the Eastern playoffs for the NBA. So anybody that has any score updates, let me know. Because I was not able to flip around the channels throughout the night, but great opening right there. And I love how WWE, they've been listening to what fans and what others have been saying throughout social media. I'm sure they've been aware of the Randy Orton vines and the memes, all that crazy stuff, the YouTube videos of Randy Orton just doing RKOs out of nowhere. And that's exactly what they implemented throughout the course of this 3-hour Raw, which I love. I love that. It was a great touch. I love seeing the RKO, the Heath Slater in the eating lounge area. I thought that was a nice little spot. I love the RKO that he gave to The Miz. Let's talk about that. There was that match with The Miz and Mizdow. Winner got to keep The Miz likeliness and, the trademark and all that other stuff. And, we keep hearing these rumblings that Miz is getting ready to go do another movie and everything. So you hear that and you're like, oh, well, if he's going to be going away for a little bit, wonder if this means that maybe that's gonna all go to Mizdow, and Miz is maybe gonna come back repackaged. Maybe he's gonna get a new facelift. But no, that is not what happened. As of all the people, I actually did not see this one coming, and I should have known better. But Summer Rae actually turned on Mizdow during this match. One point, the referee was distracted, and we had saw Summer Rae claw the face of Mizdow, and this basically had helped Miz get the win. Referee was distracted. She did her thing. Miz capitalized on that, so he gets to keep the name, likeliness, and all that. I'm curious what's going to happen on this week's SmackDown, if these two guys are going to fight again, or if that's pretty much going to be it. Is Miz going to just disappear with his victory? What? I'm very curious. But a lot of chatter that was going on leading up to this match. A lot of people were under the impression that Miz was going to lose this match, and that during the time that he was away, Mizdow would continue on and we'd get a repackaged Miz. I sure as heck thought that was coming, because there's always been this part of me that kind of feels as though, I don't know, there's something about this incarnation of Miz that, for me at least, I just can't see him touching the WWE Championship. I just cannot see him in the main event. And I guess for me, I think it's because I can see the true potential that's there in the Miz if he were to just stop with the whole silly shenanigans, the whole comic relief stuff and all that. If he were to just go a serious route, I don't know. There's something there I see. I don't know if you guys are really seeing it too, but I mean, he's got it all there. I just really wish that the powers that be, and maybe they are. I don't want to assume. Last thing we want to do is assume. But you can only hope and think that maybe creative to a certain extent, they're letting Miz go out there and have a little bit of fun with his character, maybe give him bullet points or whatever. But you'd like to think that maybe he's able to go out there and just have at it, throw it up there on the canvas, and whatever sticks, go with that or whatever. But I don't know, man. I just see this nice, good, mean streak, mean streak that's in this guy that's just waiting to come out. And I think if he is just given that opportunity to just explode, honestly, he can definitely be back in the main. A lot of you guys will see that probably because he's. I don't know. For me, I was eagerly anticipating a defeat. I thought for sure Miz was going to be going away for a while. Maybe it still will happen. Maybe he'll still go away and come back repackaged. Who knows? We'll wait and see with regards to that. Great tag team action between the Lucha Dragons as they ended up losing to Kofi Kingston and Big E Langston of New Day. Boy, those Lucha Dragons, man, the guy that really sold the show during the tag team match, it was Kalisto. That Kalisto, I know there's probably a lot of you guys that might not be watching NXT regularly like that, but hopefully you have the WWE Network by now. You can easily go back and check out previous episodes, see the Lucha Dragons in action and all that. I'm glad they're on the roster. I'm glad they're part of the main roster. Kalisto definitely has a very bright future ahead of him. He's bilingual. He moves so fast. I mean, he reminds me so much of Rey Mysterio in WCW. Now, notice what I said. I didn't say he is better than Rey Mysterio from WCW. I just said he reminds me a lot like Rey Mysterio in WCW. If he can stay healthy and protect those knees and wrestle smart, don't do any high risk maneuvers and all that other stuff, I think he has a bright career ahead of him. Could he achieve the level of success as Rey Mysterio? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. But I love those Lucha Dragons, man. But as I mentioned, they lost to New Day. We saw Xavier Woods. He was actually under the ring apron, and he grabbed on, I think it was, I'm just going to say a Lucha Dragon. I'm tempted to say it was Sin Cara's leg he grabbed, but he grabbed somebody's leg from Lucha Dragons as the referee was counting to 10, and that Lucha Dragon wasn't able to get back in the ring because of Xavier Woods, and that's how Big E Langston Kofi picked up the victory. Now, as a result of them picking up the W, those guys advanced to meet Tyson Kidd and Cesaro at Extreme Rules, a match for the tag team titles. We'll give you guys a recap on how the entire card is looking right now for Sunday as it stands, at least for this Monday night of April 20th of 2015. Want to take this time out. Thank those of you that's checking us out. Black Avenger here, aka the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders. Once again, if you're checking us out for the very first time and you're looking for actual WWE footage, raw footage at that, you might be able to find what you're looking for on WWE Fan Nation's YouTube channel. If not there, definitely on WWE's website. Quick reminder, we are back in full effect with a new live radio edition of the RCWR show, which you could catch at 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com, covering the very latest in wrestling, entertainment headlines, and beyond. We're going to be going all over the place on that episode. Make sure you join us on there. It's going to be awesome. Find out why we almost to date have almost 1,000 subscribers. And I just want to say, because I haven't said it yet, big thank you to those of you that's been subscribing to us on there for the past couple of weeks. I see the downloads and everything have been picking up on there. Appreciate the love and support. Let's continue on with the action. Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, they had a match that really did not go anywhere, as there was not a decisive victor. We saw the action go up to the stage wrap area, where it looked as though for like a third or fourth consecutive time, Luke Harper was probably going to get the upper hand on Dean Ambrose. Wherever, WrestleMania, Luke Harper said Dean Ambrose crashing back first through some steel ladders, and then there was power bomb that Dean Ambrose had took over by the announcer's table. It looked as though it was about to be something ugly over at the stage ramp on tonight's Raw. Luckily, Dean Ambrose got himself out of that predicament. He was looking to turn the tides on Luke Harper, but Luke escaped. Apparently, as we will find out later on in the night, these two guys are hopefully they're going to settle their differences, as these two guys will be facing one another at Extreme Rules. Way it's looking right now, it is just going to be a Chicago street fight. Yeah, they're going to be brawling all over the place. I hope they do. I can't think of the pay-per-view right now. Oh, man. Was it? I don't think it was Bash at the Beach. Maybe it was the Great American Bash. Great American Bash 1996, I think it was. Chris Benoit taking on the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. And I remember they fought in a bathroom. They took the fight to the bathroom. I remember there was a woman that went in there, and Dusty Rhodes was he was just going all over the place. He was like, Shivani, there's a woman in the men's bathroom, baby. There's a woman in the men's bathroom, I don't know. I'm just thinking about the Chicago street fight, and I'm telling you, those two guys right there, I'm just thinking about the entire theme of it being Extreme Rules. And I know the past couple of years, Extreme Rules, it hasn't really been all that extreme. But I think Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose, they had that proven track record way before they came to the WWE, just how much extreme they can get. They're willing to go that physical route. They're willing to sacrifice their bodies, all in the good name of entertainment. I would not be surprised if that is the one undercard match that's going to have a lot of people talking and say, I wasn't expecting that much. I thought it was just going to be, your typical half-ass type of Chicago street fight. But I don't know. It kind of has the potential to kind of be right up there with what I was just referencing a couple of seconds ago with Benoit and Sullivan. When I look at Luke Harper, my God, I put a tweet out earlier tonight. I was like, man, what I would give to had seen Luke Harper take on Mick Foley. I think that would just poof. I think that would just be insanely awesome. What do you guys think? Let me know. Other action we saw, Fandango. Kind of follow up on what happened in London. Looks like Fandango is getting a little bit of look. I'm just looking at it for what it is right now. They're trying to give him a little bit of a opportunity here to try to shine. A little bit of buzz from the crowd in Albany, New York tonight. Not as massive as a reaction it was for him in London. That's just how it is out there. It's Bizarro land. That could have what we saw in London last week. That just could have been one last clear. That could have been it, and that was like his last lifeline. So it should be interesting to see where he goes with the little bit of camera time that he does have for the next little bit. I don't appreciate the commentators, though. At one point, I think it was JBL that brought it up. I can't remember his exact phrasing, but I remember Booker said something along the lines of, if he can get it together, dog, whatever. And then you hear JBL, he actually references Ken Shamrock as far as like fighting style or whatever, the aggressiveness or whatever. And I'm kind of saying to myself, whoa, there's a name I haven't heard WWE mention in an extended period of time. Furthermore, while we're name dropping Ken Shamrock, I mean, if we're going to be name dropping Ken Shamrock like that, I mean, here's an idea, and I'll probably talk about this a little bit more Tuesday night, not to bore you guys, but I mean, we got Ken Shamrock, who has been just left and right in interviews say he'd love to go back to the WWE. He doesn't know what's going on. He tries to give fillers out. He tries to go about the proper channels, talking to the right people. Nobody's returning his calls. Nobody's returning his emails. You hear that and you're like, what the hell? And it's like, it's rare that they reference Ken Shamrock. I mean, you're lucky if you see a little something on the WWE network as far as referencing him, but this was like the first time in a long time on main WWE programming that I can recall them referencing Ken Shamrock. And honestly, I'll say this and I'll move on. I'm just a little bit surprised that Ken, of all the times to be back in the WWE, I mean, WWE, shut up and take my money. Ken Shamrock versus Brock Lesnar. WWE ring. Enough said. Money. Money, money, money. That's definitely going to draw the MMA fans to check it out. Probably new wrestling fans as a result. A lot of fettuccinis right there, man. I don't know, to each its own, but I just thought it was kind of weird and a little silly that they were referencing Ken Shamrock to Fandango. I'm like, oh, come on. That's a little bit too much hype, don't you think? See, other action. Somebody asked me, what did I think about the Naomi versus Brie match? I'll tell you exactly what I thought about the Naomi Brie match. It went, it came and went as far as my eyes go. I saw it and it was like a white flash. I saw it and the next thing you know, the match was over. And I'm not saying the match was bad. You know what was a problem for me? And I don't like doing this. It's rare that I do this. But the commentating during this particular match, my God, if only I could have taken a shot every single time I heard Nikki say, "Come on, Brie." And I mean, she said that in double digits. I'm like, my God, woman, can you say anything new? It was irritating as hell. I mean, she was saying it like it felt like every 20 to 30 seconds. Really hard for me to get into the match. Again, no disrespect to both of those girls. From what I was kind of able to see, because I was doing a lot of multitasking, from what I was able to see, it looked as though it was a really good match between Naomi and Brie, but Nikki Bella was just freaking, she ruined the experience for me. I'm sorry, guys. I just got to call it for what it was worth. Hopefully, I'm not the only one that had noticed that with Nikki saying, "Come on, Brie," that many times. We saw John Cena doing his whole United States Championship Open Tournament thingamajigger. One point we see Seth Rollins and Kane. They're still bickering back and forth as Kane ended up talking to Triple H. Triple H is saying to him, you got to get a hold of yourself. Your monster fire breathing days are over. You're a corporate man now. You have to handle yourself accordingly. You're not that individual anymore that you once were. And we actually saw Kane say to Triple H, "Oh, I'm still that monster. You just watch me." He would actually challenge John Cena for the United States title. I thought that was very refreshing. I enjoyed it big time. I looked at that and I'm saying to myself, well, wow, Wouldn't that be interesting if Kane defeated John Cena for the U.S. title? You know, that would be an interesting change of pace. And then I'm kind of thinking a little bit more in my head. I'm saying, damn, did Kane ever win the WWE United States Championship? You know, I can't really recall. Somebody, if he did, let me know around what year it was, but I don't really recall him, all the belts he's won. I don't recall him touching the United States title, at least not that version. So I couldn't help but say this would be a good change of pace. Let's see what happens right here. I was actually invested in the match. And, you know, here's the thing with these U.S. title open challenges. I need more selling. I have not really been hearing the commentators sell the moment every time John Cena does these type of matches, because I'll give JBL a little bit of credit. He teases it a little bit, but I think we really need to heighten the hell out of it, you know, because when you don't heighten the hell out of it, and when I say heighten it, for those of you that's like, what do you mean exactly, Lee? Like, basically, John Cena has to defend his United States Championship against Rusev at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. It's going to be a chain match. It's going down in 3 weeks. We know it's not happening in 3 weeks, but I'm just saying, work with me. Just follow me, all right? He's doing it in 3 weeks. You know, I don't think it's a smart move for him to do these U.S. title challenges, because he could lose the title at any moment, you know. And then meanwhile, as all this is going on, Rusev, he still gets his rematch at the pay-per-view. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be ready to go. Really doesn't matter who he takes on. He's got a date with Delight as far as whoever the champion is. Not really smart for John Cena to go into this, put the open challenge out there, no preparation, not knowing who his opponent is going to be, no time to do any type of scouting, good preparation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not really been seeing that the past couple of weeks. And see, here's a big little thing that I have with that, why it's such a problem for me, because that sends the message to me that there is no threat to John Cena's United States Championship. Got to call it how I see it. That's just how I feel. To each its own, but that's just how it looks to me. It damn sure doesn't help if you have WWE articles floating around where you're saying, oh, John Cena said he'd like to face these people for the United States Championship, or here are these dream matches that we think would be awesome for John Cena as far as his open challenge for the U.S. title. I need to see them really sell it more and talk about how much of a risk John Cena is taking defending this title, because, you know, he could lose that title at any moment every time he does these open challenges. That's just my whole deal. We saw a backstage segment where I think it was Byron Saxton that was interviewing John Cena, giving his reactions to the victory and everything over Kane, as he still retained. And we saw Rusev attack Cena from behind. He actually attacked him with the steel chain. He tried to wrap it around Cena's face and kind of grind it a little bit, kind of like he was trying to floss Cena's face with it. Great spot right there. I thought that was a nice, good backstage beatdown. Let's go back to Randy Orton. He was dishing out RKOs like it was freaking candy, man. I was talking about the Lucha Dragons earlier. We did see Randy Orton do a RKO to Xavier Woods. He also did a RKO to Kofi Kingston. I wonder if Randy Orton is still upset with Kofi for messing up his sports race car a couple of years back. You guys remember that? I think Randy still has some strong feelings, strong resentment over that. Just me. He would have done RKO to Big E Langston, but Big E, he said, you know what, man? You ain't getting me. He was smart. He said, forget that. You ain't getting me with that. And he rolled out. And shout out to Cody. Cody gave me the correct link for those of you that's interested in sending your Tough Enough video. The website is www.toughenough.com. One more time, that's www.toughenough.com. All right. Let's see. Any other quick notes I can bring to you all's attention as far as what was interesting for me as far as Raw tonight? Oh, yeah, of course. You had the main event match of the night, which was Seth Rollins taking on Dolph Ziggler. Triple H, he was trying to show Seth Rollins some tough love. He basically said to Seth, you know what, Kane, whether you like him or not, he's been very loyal to the authority. That's why I made him the gatekeeper for your match. You, on the other hand, you need to realize that a lot of people went out of their way to make sure that you're holding on to that championship belt. Furthermore, that championship belt that you have, just because you have it, it doesn't make you the man. What makes you the man is going out there, defending it, you know, taking on your opponents head on. And he was like, for that reason, that's why you're going to have a match with Dolph Ziggler. It's a match that you should have had a couple of weeks ago. Is going down tonight. So that was the whole setup right there. And I like what's going on with Kane, though, man. It's kind of like, which way could Kane possibly go? You know, Kane's kind of flirting with the babyface side, and the crowd kind of they're kind of rallying in his favor and all that. One thing that I loved about Raw tonight, right before we go to the main event, from what I can recall, no sign of the Big Show. We did see Roman Reigns, though. Roman Reigns, he was getting ready to cut a promo. Bo Dallas, he interrupted, talked about how he's been getting his butt whooped left and right, how he lost at WrestleMania. Brush yourself off. All you have to do is believe. We saw Roman Reigns hit him with a Superman punch. Then he speared him. And I like how he stole Bo Dallas' catchphrase. He was like delivering a message to the Big Show, and he basically ended it. And you can believe that. And I was like, oh, that was a good spot right there. I actually like that. Main event match, decent match between Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, but we actually saw Sheamus interfere, who earlier in the night, Sheamus beat the tar out of Zack Ryder. Ryder just did not have a chance. Sheamus was actually adding insult to injury to Ryder post-match, and then Ziggler came to the rescue, got Sheamus off him. He actually hit him with the zigzag that sent Sheamus flying out the ring. So I actually like the smart booking at the end of this main event match as Sheamus came back, screwed around with Ziggler, distracted the ref a little bit, definitely distracted Ziggler, helping Rollins pick up the victory. As let's not forget, it was announced earlier tonight, Ziggler and Sheamus, they're going to be having a Kiss My Arse match. Arse? I'm just going to say ass. Kiss My Ass match is what they're going to be having. And end of the night, Seth Rollins was celebrating all strong and everything. I'm trying to think. Something happened where the cage ended up being lowered, and it turned out Randy Orton was right there. Yes. I think Seth Rollins got somebody refresh my memory. Something weird happened at the top of the stage ramp area. And I know J&J Security, they weren't in the ring with Seth as the steel cage got lowered, and Randy just came out of nowhere, started beating the crap out of Seth. He hit him with the RKO, and pretty much Raw had went off that way. Solid Raw tonight, I would have to say overall. It was, my main takeaways from tonight's episode. I got to give it up to Kalisto from the Lucha Dragons. I mean, he just really kept me entertained with that tag match. I was really into it, loved it. Let's see, what was another one that was good? Kane versus John Cena. I actually got to give that some props. That was actually a decent match. Let me see. Rollins versus Ziggler. That was another one that was good. The Divas match, from the little bit that I saw, was actually a decent match as well. I just could have done without Nikki Bella on commentating. That really screwed things up for me. That was pretty much it. That was the main takeaway. A little bit of an average, and that's how it's been the past couple of weeks. It's been a little bit of an average type of Raw that you've been getting here and there. But this one, for the most part, it kind of kept my attention. Some areas could have definitely been improved. I will say that. As far as the amount of Raws that's been pumped out this month, looking back on what was probably the strongest Raw so far, um, possibly this might have been the strongest Raw for this calendar month. Possibly. I'll go that far, but it gets a pass. I'll give it a pass tonight. My favorite part of the show now, get to you guys comment and see what you all had to say about tonight's Raw, and hope you're enjoying the show so far. All right, so we're getting that Kane came out at the end of the show and J&J Security tried to stop him. Yeah, thanks for the refresher. Yeah. And then that's how the cage got lowered. Randy Orton. Yeah. It was pretty obvious once you saw Kane come out that 9 times out of 10 they were probably going to lower the steel cage, and that's how Randy Orton was going to get Seth Rollins. Let's see. Those of you that might be curious about all the championship belts that Kane has won, yeah, he's won every single belt except for the United States Championship. So that really would have made things interesting tonight if he would have won it. Mick. Hey, that's a good drawing, man. I like that pit bull there you got. Not a pit bull, but what kind of dog is that? Reminds me of Spike the dog from Tom and Jerry. Mick wants to know, Lee, which match do you think will be the show stealer at Extreme Rules? Honestly, I think the big rig, Luke Harper versus Dean Ambrose, without a doubt. I'm with you. Like I said earlier, I think that's the match that's probably going to have a lot of people talking. Speaking of Extreme Rules matches, this is the way the card is looking. We'll get back to you guys' comments, but I want to make sure we mention this because I did tease it earlier. This is how the final card is looking for Extreme Rules. We have Tyson Kidd and Cesaro defending their tag team championship belts against the New Day's Big E and Kofi Kingston. John Cena will defend the United States Championship against Rusev. Daniel Bryan, pending his health, is okay. As I'm sure many of you are aware, it looks as though Daniel Bryan's nagging injury that took him out initially, it's returned. He has not tried to go in and get the corrective surgery done. He's been doing his whole voodoo witch doctor thingamajig. Assuming his health is going to be good, he'll be at 100%. At this point, his status for Sunday is unknown. But assuming he can make it to Sunday to defend his Intercontinental Championship, his opponent will be Bad News Barrett. Dean Ambrose will take on Luke Harper, Chicago Street Fight. Roman Reigns, Big Show, Last Man Standing match. Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus, Kiss My Ass match. And for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, that will be contested inside of a steel cage with Kane as the special guest gatekeeper. Seth Rollins defends against Randy Orton. Whoa. Oh, and we're missing the Divas. Let's not forget the Divas. Nikki Bella will defend her Divas Championship against Paige. Another person who was not on Raw tonight. No noticeable faces gone from this episode tonight. Hope they're back next week. All right, let's get to you guys' comments here. I'm going to refresh again. All right, here we go, guys. Ramon, do you think Sandow's popularity will drop now that the feud with The Miz is done? And does D. Bryan's absence due to injury have WWE thinking of having him drop the belt sooner than later, in your opinion? Compound question right there. I'll tackle the Daniel Bryan situation Tuesday night because I want to go more in depth about what's going on with all that. Give my take Tuesday night, 10 p.m. So make sure you check that out. But the first part of what you said, I don't think Sandow's popularity will drop. Um, Honestly, I kind of feel as though Sandow and Miz still kind of have a little something there. I kind of think that they can still continue to go at it. I don't really know if this really signified the end of their feud. I really didn't get that vibe. Should be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown this week, though. Here we go. We got our first TNA reference. Last week, the TNA Tag Team Championships and Ultimate X was the main event on Impact. Once again, the WWE Tag Team Championships are contested on a kickoff show. The downgrade of the WWE Tag Team division continues. I disagree with that so much so I'm going to delete that comment. I think that's I think I, I'm not going to say silly because I don't want you thinking I'm calling you silly, but look at it from this standpoint. WWE in the past 2 years has done a better job in trying to build up the tag team division. Now, granted, New Day isn't really clicking that well. Primo, Epico, Los Matadors, that really has not been working out that well. The Ascension, they have all the potential in the world, but whoever is writing their stuff, whoever is handling the bookings of their matches compared to what they were doing in NXT, it's like night and day, completely different. All right. But they still have all the potential in the world to succeed on the main roster. You got the Lucha Dragons that's up now. Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, what was just some random union, and you're like, what the hell? These guys have just been able to make things work. I will say that the tag team division has suffered a little bit of a minor blow right now, as you have one of the Usos that's going to be out due to surgery for about 6 months. But the rest of the tag team division, they're going to have to just step it up as a result. This is this is prime time, no pun intended, but this is the prime time right now to really step up. Those of you that's been watching the wrestling products over the years, when you have a star that's out or champion that's out, other people tend to step their game up and all that. And this is the opportunity. You got the primetime players, they're back together. Looks like they're kind of going back to basics, and they're reminding fans what made them so popular in the first place just a couple of years ago. I mean, it's not like they hadn't formed primetime players in 10 years or whatever. I think primetime players was probably on a little bit of a hiatus for about, feels like 3 years, possibly four, but I'm going to say three to be sure. So I mean, you got all these great things that's happening with the tag division right now. I mean, you go back 3 years ago, and it's like there really was no tag division. There was nothing going on. So, I mean, all steps are pointing towards a positive direction. I feel it's just a situation where WWE, I think what's happening right now, they're just going through all the weeds, trying to, literally pluck out the good and the bad. Once they kind of get all that down, once they fine tune it a bit, then I think there's going to be a division that a lot of you that's really big into the tag team division can be really proud about, but I hate the whole to kind of follow up on Havoc said in a blog that she did on Facebook. I hate the whole TNA and WWE comparisons. And, you know, that's what makes our show totally kick ass. I try to do my best not to compare one show to another show and, like, you know, well, this company did this. And I try to just grade each brand with their respected shows under that particular company for what it's worth. I give them the good, I give them the bad. That's how I do. I don't like comparing, because to compare, it's just really not fair. I feel, you know. Let's continue on. See. Auto tune. What, my mic messed up again? I'll look into that. See. Hey, playoffs. Nah, those beat the Bucks to take 2-0 lead in the series. That should be interesting. Let's see. Jericho, loving the show as usual. What's your thoughts about the curse of being banned now? Seth's new finish move tonight. Honestly, as far as the new finish move goes, I missed that because I was actually prepping to go live for you guys. So I actually missed that. I'll definitely rewind, watch the last 10 minutes again. But, you know, as far as Randy Orton goes, many of you might not be aware of this. This shows you how much of a fan of Randy Orton I am. I remember his days when he debuted. I remember when he made his SmackDown debut. His very first match on SmackDown, it was against Hardcore Bob Holly. And he got the victory via roll-up. But in later months, once Randy Orton started to kind of get a finisher together or whatever, one of his finishers was a swinging neck breaker, only he did it with his leg, not with his hand. And he called it the Ozone or the Overdrive. It was pretty badass. I'm bringing that up for a reason. If I was booking the match, I would make that be what, you know, what gets Seth Rollins and possibly has Randy Orton become the WWE champion. But let's just say shenanigans go down as a result and Randy Orton gets screwed. But I would love to see him dust off that move. That's a move that he has not done in a good minute. And check out a couple of more comments we got from you guys here. Then we'll wrap it up. If I don't get to all of you all's comments, have no fear. I'll try to get you on the rebound. Justin Lee, do you have any idea of who Bray Wyatt may be talking about in his promos? Yeah, I have an idea. I think it's Roman Reigns. I honestly do. If you just like pull up a transcript of a lot of the things that he's been saying and you just kind of read in between the lines, I truly believe that Roman Reigns' next test after Big Show is going to be for Roman Reigns. I think his next test. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I think his next test is going to be Bray Wyatt. And honestly, I'm fine with that. We need a break from the Big Show. I mean, we really do, man. We really do. Let's see. I'm going to refresh one more time. Trying to make sure we show everybody love here. Let's see. I agree, Mick. Mick says, I hope nobody loses the kiss my ass match because it will really be a awkward moment watching that. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. All right, one more time. Let's see, look at the comments here. Yes, I have Skype. I don't share it. It's so funny. I know. Me and they were like, would you be open to doing a Google Hangout? And I'm like, my schedule doesn't permit it. It's like the only thing I'm interested in is the shows that I do on YouTube and a live podcast, any other free time I have, honestly, I'm just trying to chill with the family, man, for real. And he was like, "Oh no, I was just talking about kicking back, having laughs and all that." And God, I'm not whining or anything because I love what I do. I love what I do for you guys, and I love the fact that when I get up in the morning, I go to work. I got a nice office and all that. But the last thing I'm trying to do with the little bit of free time that I have is be sitting in front of a computer talking to somebody. I would actually prefer to like be out, actually physically hanging out with friends, giving them high fives, drinking our asses off, going to go see a good movie together, go eat out together. I like going out. I'm designated as it is, during the week doing this for you guys. I'm not interested in, I hope you understand. I'm not being mean. I'm antsy, I like to go out and do stuff. That's just me. All right. So I see we got pretty much most of the comments out the way, which is good. Keep it coming. Post them down below. That's pretty much going to do it. So Tuesday night, we got what's that? 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. Make sure you join us. It's going to be an all new live RCWR show. We'll cover the very latest wrestling headlines, entertainment, and beyond. I haven't figured out yet how we're going to go about doing this, but I think Wednesday is probably what's going to go down. Yeah, I think Wednesday, as soon as NXT goes off the air, come on here on YouTube this Wednesday, East Coast time. We're going to do a special Call That Match edition. I'll offer my thoughts on the Extreme Rules pay-per-view as far as who I'd like to see go out as the winner for their respected match. I'll put some smart thinking into the booking, possible angles we might see coming out of it, the usual stuff for those of you that's used to that. That'll be on Wednesday. And then, of course, you definitely want to make sure you come on back here Sunday night after Extreme Rules. We'll do a special simulcast. We'll be live here on YouTube, and we'll also be live on Spreaker. I'm going to try to see if we can bring the phone line back in. We had problems last time because the storm was brewing. We're going to try to see if we can maybe bring the phone line in and have you guys call into the show and all that, talk about the pay-per-view. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. When you do, you're showing your love and appreciation for us YouTube video creators. Share this a number of ways by Facebooking it, Google Plusing it, retweeting it. One of the many ways you can spread a good word about our content. All right. That is going to do it until next go round. And yes, another person that was missing from Raw tonight, Adrian Neville. I'm fine with that. Doesn't always need to be about Neville, stretch him out a little bit, but that's a topic for another time. All right. Wishing all y'all to be safe, be kind to one another. Everybody take care. Go Wizards.